grab the popcorn, put some extra salt and vinegar on it. Tastes nice sometimes. We are witnessing markets go down. Of course, macro has turned. The economy has turned. There's a lot of things going on, friends. Most importantly today, I'm going to speak to you about altcoins going up over time. This is the altcoin chart. I know it's a bit faded, but you see these rectangles? This is the altcoin floor, and they are gaining over Bitcoin over time. So if you are to sit here and just guess about the recession coming and all these other things, you're never going to be satisfied because it's always going to look crap. You know that, man. We've been here since 2022 and I've been retweeting for you, but I've been here since the end of 2018, friends. And even before I got into markets, I was just learning about markets, all their cycles and everything beforehand. But, you know, it does make you question things when you always hear about recessions being needed to basically like wipe out the froth and make real people back in. You see pictures like this circulating around. All white people are racist. PayPal me. You know what I mean? You know, this type of stuff, it's end of cycle stuff, man. It's like, all right, you got a first world problem. You know, this type of thing that comes out. Now, of course, friends, I'm not a political person. Don't really care about these social things that everybody's throwing around left and right. You know, the pendulum's going to swing and people go and protest and whatever. You just can all fight it out in the corner. But when you see things like this, what is it actually getting down to fact? It's getting down to the fact that the money printer, man, I think you've taken it a bit too far. But here's the thing, man. They can't turn it off. They can't turn it off because then everything implodes. But you know where we are in the crypto cycle and the economic cycle as well. When they turn it off, friends, man, we are literally on life support. They turn it off, we just go down. Turn it back on, okay, we're back up. Because that's basically, it's breathing for us. Right? More importantly, though, looking at this altcoin index, right? That's a pure altcoin index. I've seen other people use others, another index, and I don't like the one they're using. So firstly, mine has more data. And secondly, the one you'll see other people use, I constructed that one first, actually, before anybody years ago. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty crap one. So which one do they use? What they'll do is they will not do others. They'll do all the altcoins, but they'll remove stable coins manually, but they include the stuff in the top 10. And if you do that, if you remove stable coins, what ends up happening is the data print does not start in 2015 because Tether only got the data in 2018. So all you can see is this chart. You don't actually see that. All you see is this like channel out here. That's what it looks like, right? It looks like that, I think. Like it looks like, oh, this channel's going to go all the way back down. You know what? Maybe they do that. Maybe they do that or not even, right? There's ones actually looking like it's going down. But my one is literally just everything outside of the top 10 versus Bitcoin. And I'm going to highlight this to you. You can see on my chart, back in 2015, friends, this is all you need to know about crypto, right? You see this number on the right-hand side. Now, I know it's black. It's black, unfortunately. I could actually basically fix it up to show you, but look at the right-hand side. See down here, it's 0.01. It means outside of the top 10, all the altcoins market cap, they are 1% of Bitcoin's price. That's how big they are, 1%. So the floor used to be 1, all right? Used to be 1%. Look what happens in the next bear market though, 2019, 2018, right? Up here, look where the floor goes down to. It's now down to about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see that? You can even get it up here. It's about 10%. So it used to be 1% of Bitcoin. Now you're 10%. Now, where are we today, friends? Where we are today, we are around 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we're around, like the middle price is around 20%. Isn't that interesting, right? It's actually going down a bit. You know, I'm looking at the bottom, look at, 18%. But it's interesting, isn't it? It used to be 1%, then 10, now 18. What's going on here? And remember, this is others, friends. This is removing Ethereum. Once Ethereum crosses to the top 10, it's no longer included in here. So what's actually going on is the crypto industry is moving forward over time. I have the numbers here, lay out here for you as well. 2015, it was 1. 2019, 2020, 10%. Then in our cycle now, they're around 17. You just see how it's moving up over time. Over time, right? Remember, friends, what you're actually doing is, what you're showing all the data just presented, or data, friends. Remember, sometimes some people call it data. There's some data guys out there. Leave a comment if you are one of the data people. I'm a data person sometimes. You're just showing Bitcoin dominance, right? That's it. You're just showing Bitcoin dominance go down over time. You're saying, oh wow, Bitcoin dominance used to be up here 99%, then you went down to 69%. Now you're around 55%. What's the next one? 45%. You're pretty much just showing Bitcoin dominance go down, and it doesn't mean it's bearish for Bitcoin. It's not. It basically means Bitcoin. It's the opposite, right? It's Bitcoin. Remember Bitcoin, friends. When Bitcoin goes up, we call it Bitcoin, but right now it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin. The fact that it's so amazing and the narrative is so great and the network effect and the adoption and it's so beautiful with the creation, the fact that it's so good, it's a testament for that chart. It's showing you that all the good stuff about Bitcoin, it's slowly, we're bleeding out the good stuff from it to the rest of the industry. It's like you're a big tree, right? A big, beautiful tree. And then the tree is basically, it's dropping seeds on the floor, right? And those seeds are going to grow into other plants, right? Maybe a rose comes out of the tree. Can that happen? I don't know. If you're a biological dude or dudette, let me know. Can that happen? But you get the point, right? So Bitcoin is this big, grand tree. It's already hitting the sky. You're like, yeah, how much more further can you go? You're not going to go to the moon, okay? Even though we want you to. We're cheering you to go to the moon. But other things pop up. That's what's actually happening. And we do see that represented in, for example, Ethereum comes out and then it shows you, hey, you know, you don't have to store your value in Bitcoin. You can store your value in Ethereum. Now, friends, we're figuring out how things can work. We have to discover use cases. That's what it is. It's not just looking at use cases and what goes on. People have to discover them and what people like to see. Like, for example, one discovery, friends, is like, look, I'm not going to make my mistake yet. 33% of the internet is people watching premarital fornication on illegal adult websites, right? And there are the combinations of genitals and partying and glitter, and there's different fetishes for everyone out there. So yeah, that's 33% of the internet. 1/3 of the internet is just that. So, you know, I use that because it's just so like, it's so crude. And it reminds you a bit of like the meme coin discovery. You're like, man, 1/3 of the internet? We made the internet to like liberate mankind. It's just people watching everyone naked all day. Yeah, I guess we discovered a use case, you know, but if there was a journalist writing about it as it was happening, they're like, oh, wait a minute, sex sells on TV, sex sells on magazines, sex sells everywhere. You know, prostitution's the oldest form of a job, right? Some say we're prostitutes right now in crypto. The only difference is, you know, we didn't get paid. You know, where's the altcoin union out there, right? Because last I checked, it's been a rough cycle. Now, you're seeing pretty much what's happening, friends. This discovery of use cases. I mean, that's happening on the internet. It's happening with crypto right now. In the next cycle, right, we expect, by we, I mean me, and by me, I'm just guessing, we expect a higher floor again. Perhaps altcoins are like 25% of the Bitcoin size. Maybe they hit like 30%. Maybe they just shock us again and go, it was 1, and then 10, and then 20. Maybe the next floor is 30, and it just keep going like that, all the cycles. And yeah, it does make sense, man, because, you know, we discover things like DEXs and perps, and then there's different payment solutions and all these other things. Now, we're all looking for the holy grail coin, but it's tough to find a holy grail coin. It's more like a holy grail sector within crypto, and it's a group of coins. But capturing the value, that's another important thing to think about, because that's tough, because they could go mint heaps a lot of coins. Like, for example, EigenLayer and restaking, yeah, they've minted a use case. Can you get in? No. They've got 95% of the coins to themselves. It's just one big giant grift, and they have all these use cases. Oh, because Vitalik likes us. All right, man, how could we get in? We can't get in? All right, sweet. We're going to buy cheap stuff. So it is that game being played out back and forth. You know, you want to capture the value. That's it. So it's not enough for something to just have value and go up there. You want to be able to capture it. It's kind of like, oh, its tree goes up. Yeah, but how can you capture the value of a tree? Well, you need somebody to kind of like give you an instrument to basically bet on the tree growing, okay? And because trees grow up so much, no one really wants to do that. They're like, hey, I'm not going to let you bet on the tree growing. I'll just bet on the tree growing, right? I'll bet on it growing in my backyard. It's literally the same thing in altcoins. They're like, hey, I know this thing is big. Why should I just hand out the coins to the community or anyone out there? I'm just going to keep it for myself. But as you get to see, right, when there's like these periods of these pendulum swinging, the currency units available in crypto, they can only move to a certain number of places. They can't go everywhere at once. And you even see this in the real world, friends. You see like anything from the hospital industry and how it's just all supply and demand, right? Your thing can be the most useful thing in the world. Like, you got to have a heart pacemaker. Without it, people die, you know? So I just checked online now, right? A pacemaker is between 20 grand and $100,000 without insurance. So that's probably like a rigged price as well. So, yeah, actually, some have pacemakers like 20 grand. All right, well, how about the Ferrari? Yeah, well, how about the Ferrari? Ferrari's 500,000. A Lambo's 500 grand. You literally save lives with a heart pacemaker. All right, supply demand though. It's the same thing playing out. You know, it's just. But I'm here, friends. I'm here 18 hours a day wearing a Pokemon bucket hat, just showing you these revelations in life. Like, it's supply and demand it doesn't work how everyone thinks. We all think the most useful, needed thing in the world is the most highest price. Doesn't work like that. I mean, look at it in the real world. The most popular people are not the smartest people. Okay, the most popular people. You know, you look at that stuff with Mr. Beast. You see, look what happens when you get too popular, but you're telling everybody, "Hey, run away from the Matrix." You see, who's the type of people that usually make it to the tops? You know, it's like Taylor Swift's obviously being bribed by the Democrats. She's a Democrat herself. All these weird agenda stuff, you know, genital mutilations on kids, all these types of things. You know what I mean? Like, are they the smartest? They should be putting up rocket scientists. Why do we know about the leading cancer research person? We don't even know their names. I don't know who the hell it is. What do we do know, though? We know, oh, wow, Kanye West's new girlfriend's walking around naked. I know about that. It keeps popping up on my Twitter. You see what I mean? It's humans, man. It's humans. That's the reality of it. Now, slowly, friends, over time, Bitcoin dominance will lose itself in each cycle. It will bleed over time in cycle, just like with gold, right? Gold in the S&P 500. And if you want to laugh at what it looks like over time, this is gold over S&P 500. Check that out, all right? Gold over S&P 500. So pretty much, okay, this was the 1980 inflation burst, okay? This was the bubble of all bubbles. But forget that. Imagine that didn't happen, all right? Just imagine this spike didn't happen. The prices of gold going up here, right? Imagine they just had to stop here. Look what will be happening over time. Gold, friends, its dominance is going down over time versus stocks. Wow. See that? See, gold used to be huge. This is actually Great Depression right up here. Woohoo! See, Great Depression. Peaks, come back down. We have one more scare in the 80s. Inflation's going to go up. We're never going to come back down here. This was actually GFC. Come back down. So what's actually going on? Aren't you interested about that? That might be the future of Bitcoin dominance, right? Like we go down. We have, maybe there's like some point in the future where there's just like a Bitcoin buying frenzy later on. You know, maybe like in 8 years or 12 years, the Bitcoin dominance goes down and then Bitcoin just goes on this like super nuclear run because like, you know, every country just wants to grab Bitcoin or whatever. But that's further down the track. Betting on that though, it's a long bet. Look at this time frame, friends. Like from 1947 takes like 40 years, right? So it maybe divided by 4, maybe we'll get it in like 10 years from now. Maybe as Bitcoin dominance go down, maybe it's a 2030 to 2040 story. But it's just fascinating, right? Look at this gold, look at this ratio going down. And what's the explanation for it? Well, you know, the explanation is you see companies out there, they are building networks now. What's in the S&P 500, right? It's not just industry stuff. It's networks, right? So this is obviously your friend Sommi, theory, thesis, friendship, kindness, and jelly beans and unicorns, right? So we're building networks now. The world is becoming more globalized. More tech companies make up the index. Apple's, there's Tim Apple's creation, Apple's. You've got Amazon. You've got Tesla. You have Goggle, you know. You have Micropenis, Bill Gates' Micropenis. See all these friends? But they're all tech. Tech is all network effects. Tech is literally all around the world. You have Netflix, right? They're literally all around the world network effects. Gold is a network effect. That's what it is. Gold is literally a network effect. Okay, it's one of the oldest network effects, and it branches. It like touches different time periods, ancient cultures, touches different languages, touches you with consent. Hopefully, sign on dotted line with consent. You see what I mean? So, as the world becomes more globalized with everything, basically, friends, you know, travel times are going to get shorter. Even though we're separated geographically, we're all connected, right? All the countries are connected. China, USA, everything. They have trade deal agreements everywhere. They know, man, if one thing sneezes, okay, everybody's sick. You know, we're all becoming more one unified, okay? Collective consciousness as well. It's kind of like funny, links up with this like the long-term alien theory and stuff, where humans, like our individuality is slowly being crushed, slowly over time. We're coming to like one organism, slowly, and everybody's trying to like, you know, fight over that. And that's what we expect us to see this over time. Now, we still might have this like spike up, oh, gold again, and they might just like do that over time. Makes sense though. Right now, it's obviously don't just think, oh, well, just replace the gold with stocks. Nah, do you want to take that bet though? Because you're like, which stocks? And the government can ultimately take away your S&P 500, but they can't really find that bar of gold underneath your basement. You know, there's things like that to worry about. But yeah, isn't it interesting? It's interesting to think about these network effects over time. They're becoming more globalized. So you're betting on the network, right? Like of Google, you're betting on their wide reach in the world. And that's what it is, right? They're approaching more and more gold. So they're eating away at gold unintentionally, I guess. It's not like so it's not like in altcoins, it's not like every altcoin comes out and says, we want to take away from Bitcoin. They don't say that. It's just, hey, we want to advance the industry. We want to advance humanity. What can we do? Is there a use case here? That's what people are working in their own self-interests. That's what it is. No one's actually really thinking big picture like that. When it comes to, hey, I want to make a coin that advances humanity, right? No one's thinking like that. It's just slowly we're discovering stuff over time. Like we have DEXs, Uniswap, one of the greatest inventions as well. That Uniswap formula pushed everywhere. Then you have different things coming out, right? The physical infrastructure, deep in. You see what I mean? Even meme coins, culture friends. We're putting like entertainment stuff in crypto land and people are refusing to leave. Another amazing discovery. So over time, what's going to happen is, well, it bleeds out from Bitcoin. Bitcoin will never go away. Obviously, defense. I'm talking about like this is giant long-term macro. Like you think about this. This is 100 years of data. Some say data, 100 years. We got plenty of time to go. So I hope you learned something, man. You see that. So altcoin, the floor over time is rising, right? And like if you wanted to just see that chart inverted, you can. You could just do SPX over gold, and you can just invert that. Right, and you can see this is going up over time. Like, oh, wow, the log chart of it over time. Wow. That's what it is. But yeah, a lot of people believe like, oh, we're going to come for another collapsing. But yes, you can just see, friends, this cycle's so volatile over time. What's happening is this long-term trend of humanity becoming more and more digital, more and more globalized. But man, we're going to be dead. We're going to be like way dead before these all play out. Wow. You know, talking about 2050, 2100. How can we use that to our advantage? You already are, man. You already are. You see, like, remember, friends, back then, right, gold was base money here. Gold was, so risk off, if you're in stocks 100 years ago, 120 years ago, gold is the oldest network effect you have. Still is today, right? So you're in a new company, it's been around for 5 years, you don't have any data, there's no internet, there's nothing. You can't invest in, you don't have Doge, you don't have your shit coins to rotate into, okay, when you're owning this steel factory. Your safety is gold. The oldest network effect of all time. But the words network effect, I don't even know if they existed back then. It wasn't even the zeitgeist, but that's what you're betting on. You're betting on, oh, the oldest thing ever. That's what network effect is, right? So despite everything going on, and I mean, like, we have to laugh, friends. Like you see all these, and you're like, okay, but the immediate term, you know, unemployment rate just ticked up to 4.3%. The economy's cracking. They're now pricing in, by the way, a big rate cut, 50 basis points for September. And if you want to check it out, check out the US 2-year bond yield rate, friends. Remember, this is for 2 years. Look at this. It went from, friends, look at this. It literally priced in an extra 3 cuts overnight. Can you believe that? That's huge. Let me check this data. Yeah, the past 3 days, it's priced in 3 cuts from 4.4%. Yeah, pretty much around 3 cuts. That's nasty. No, nasty. I mean, it is what it is, right? What does this actually mean? It means, see right now, what's the rate? The rate is 5.5 for US, all right? It's trading at 3.8. You know what that means, friends? It means recession. It means recession right now. But you might say, wait a minute. There was a false alarm here. And then we went up. There was a false alarm a year ago. And then we went up. Yes, I know. But how many false alarms are going to be? It doesn't just do false alarms forever, you know? If you're curious, though, you can go back and check over time. See, friends, even leading up to the zombie virus, there was like, you know, you might even consider these like false alarms. Like, oh, there was a false alarm here, and they didn't cut. And then actually the big one came out later. You can also go back to around GFC as well. You can see these, friends. See, there's these little false alarms. Like, oh, you thought there was a false alarm. No, and then the big one comes. So these things do happen, and it takes time for the cycle to turn. It is turning right now. Where's it going to be? Look, I mean, Solana. You know, my post here, friends. I said, wait, so you're telling me Lil Pump getting a Solana tattoo on his forehead wasn't a sign that we're super early? Wow. Wow, I never thought. We're all yelling it. Now, friends, obviously, when you hear this, remember, we're taking it as a joke. I'm here looking after you. Doesn't mean go sell everything, whatever. It was a tiny pocket, man. We checked the Solana dominance. It was only freaking 2% of the whole industry. Okay, 2% is in euphoria. 98%, nothing's moved. To me, that's not a cause for concern, but it's just like, it just shocks you, man, because you're like, I joked about it a year ago. I'm like, guys, they're going to do some crazy things at the top of this bull market. Like, someone might even get like something ridiculous, like a forehead tattoo. I remember saying that. It came already, which is, it's scary because it makes you think, wait a minute, if Lil Pump getting a Solana tattoo, it says anal OS, by the way, anal operating system in the mirror. If him getting a Solana tattoo wasn't the end of cycle top signal, what's it going to be? I don't know, friends. Keep letting your imagination run wild. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, man. Donald Trump said the words, Bitcoin strategic reserve. Like, think about the wettest of wet dreams of every Bitcoiner's fan fiction from 10 plus years ago. You know, that's what they've been thinking about. Like, oh, imagine a US president says he's going to buy us. He did. He did. Everyone's like, let's sell it off. Markets. It's how they work, man. Positioning. It's all about positioning. Right now, everyone says it's the end of the world. Maybe we don't get there, friends. You know, I've been asked as well to draw what I think happens. This is what I actually like still have drawn here. I know, like, add up only, not red candle. But look, it's still, we're still on the cards for something like this, where end of the year, there's some sort of rally. Then the recession actually hits. Then they have to print so much money just to make us stop going down. And then we continue up next year. That's what I guess a base case is. Like, hey, go up. Go up, knock my fluffy microphone, friends. It's just all these curses being removed. Everything's just been breaking, by the way. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're just expecting. But if you don't get it, man, that's why, friends, if you don't get it, what are we going to do? Keep holding. All right, sweet. Back to square one. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you in the next one.